Hi, I'm Sam Norberg. Welcome to 52 Books in 52 Weeks, and today is book 11, where I was listening to the Hands-Free Mama on audiobook. I will leave the details down below for you. This was when I was scrolling through the list of audiobooks I had available to me, and I stumbled across this and thought it sounded interesting. And it was. So the premise of the book is that we spend far too much time on social media, phone calls, texts, emails, whatever else, and that we've become very distracted from the one thing that should be most important to us, which is our children. The logic still applies to family and friends as well, but her story really comes from her not paying attention to her children. So there are things like in the morning when she's making their breakfast, she'd also be checking her emails on her laptop, not paying attention to the children who might need her assistance during the morning. Or when she was driving, listening to her stuff on the radio rather than engaging her children in conversations. This book isn't about giving up your life and all of your social media and dedicating your entire life to your children, although that would be lovely, but it's fairly real in the fact that it understands you still have jobs and responsibilities. What it does do is it encourages you to look at ways you can be what they call hands-free. And hands-free is where you dedicate periods of your day where you don't touch technology. You don't pull out your phone and just check Facebook while you're waiting in line. If your kid's there, and you could be talking to them about something as well. You don't pull out Facebook or you pull out your phone and just check email if you're in a doctor's surgery when you could be engaging with your child while you were waiting. So what it does is it really encourages you to look at periods when you could decide to be hands-free rather than just checking things because they're there to be checked. The other thing it encourages you to do is to move your email time then to a time when children aren't present, or allocate periods of time so you can dedicate times to them. This was a really great reminder for me, having just come out of books like 168 Hours, which look at my productivity, backed up by a book by Things to Do Before You Die, which looks at making the most of your time. I'm really, at the moment, focused on making good use of my time. I mean, this is the best years of my life. Yeah, I'm young, I'm fit, I'm healthy, I've got great businesses growing, I've got young children who are changing and growing every day. And literally every day is the last time I'll experience that time. So I've been focusing on making my time the most productive. But in the midst of all this, I do not want to lose those which are important to me, which are the tiny little souls that I gave birth to. Now, my kids are 6 and 7 now and rapidly growing, and they do still, although they don't necessarily need feeding and toileting, have lots of attention they need. Questions they want answered. Their brains are growing exponentially by the day. So this was a good wake-up call to me. Now, you may or may not know, I share custody of my children with my ex-husband, and we're really good at co-parenting, but what that means is, of course, I don't have my kids all the time. I only have them part of the time. And so for me, my focus then is to make sure that my part of my time, which is with them, is dedicated to them and not lost doing a million and one other things or checking things out. If you're interested in living what they call hands-free or just making a conscious effort to use less of your technology at certain times, go and check out the book Hands-Free Mama. It was interesting. I probably got about 3/4 of the way through and realised that I'd heard most of what I needed to hear. The message got a little bit repetitive. While the stories were interesting, it wasn't really my style. But there was a good lesson to be learned from the audiobook, and I'm really glad that I stuck it on in the car while I was driving around because it did remind me to look at some things. Have you read it, or have you read anything else like Hands-Free Mama, which encourages you to ditch the digital technology for a little bit? I'd love to hear from you. Jump down in the comments below and let me know what you think of it. Also, let me know if you're trying to do any hands-free time. I really need to commit to this a bit better, and it's terrifying, so I'd love to hear from you. And of course, as always, I will see you in the next video.